Good evening, parents and the community of Peninsula Prep Academy Charter School. Welcome to 2021. We are so grateful to be here in 2021 after all of the challenges that we faced in 2020. However, hopefully you made some lemonade from those lemons that we had to deal with this past year, and that all of the things and all of the lessons that we faced and all of the challenges that we faced, we learned to be resilient and flexible and find a way when there appears to be no way. I hope that you have remained healthy, and if by chance you did not, I'm so happy to know that you are still with us and that you are recovering. Um, I want to thank you for your flexibility. There have been no better parents anywhere that supported the school and the decisions that we've made. We've been somewhat delayed due to the fact, and I'm sure that you know, that we have replaced the roof of our building, which was not safe for any of us any longer. And we just wanted to make sure that we will be safe once we re-enter the building. The air quality testing will happen this week. It's been ordered, and the building inspectors will be there to give us their stamp of approval that all is well inside of our building. Uh, because I know that many of you went away over these last 2 weeks, we are delaying the opening of school so that we are delaying going back into the building until the 19th. We don't want to be in and out, in and out. We want everyone who traveled or were with other people to quarantine, make sure that you're healthy so that once we come back into the school building, we remain there until June. We want to do this in stages and phases so that we make sure all of our children and the adults know the procedures that we will be using to keep us healthy and keep us safe from this COVID-19, plus the latest one that is even more dangerous than the one that we faced for the last 10 months. So know that we are doing all that we can to ensure that. We will have face masks and face shields. We'll have barriers around all the desks. During these 2 weeks that we are remaining remote, I'm going into the building with Mr. Pierre and make sure that all is well and that the rooms will be able to be set up with social distancing. The classrooms, making sure that we have the right number of classrooms for the children whose parents signed the survey we've asked you for, so that we know how to plan our classrooms and know how to distribute our faculty. If you did not fill in that survey, we will expect you to remain remote. We will have lists, and we will stand by those lists. We have to maintain order and discipline to get through this process safely and efficiently. We will give you another opportunity to fill in another survey if you decide that you want your children to come back in. But this will not happen until mid-February. So we ask that you complete the questionnaires that we ask of you. They're very brief, but it's the only way that we can plan for the school year so that there are no more disruptions. There's no reason why we cannot maintain our school year from now till June. So please cooperate with us, be flexible, understand that we've thought a lot about it. We're using guidelines from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, other medical experts, the Department of Health, and that brings me to the immunization record. No child, and we're pretty good on having all of our children, all of our parents have completed the permission slip to have their children tested. And it will happen uh, every week, maybe every other week. But we just have to make sure that everyone remains safe. The COVID hits people differently, and we don't know what that outcome might be if by chance one of us or any of us contracted this virus. Remember, if a child or one person in a classroom is tested positive, because remember, we too are testing our children by temperature every morning, uh, then that classroom will have to quarantine. If two children in the school come to school and they're found to be sick, then we'll have to shut down the school, and we don't want to do that. So if your child or your baby isn't feeling well, or you feel that they have a temperature or they're exhibiting any of the symptoms of COVID, please keep them home and watch over them. We have to protect one another. We are all in this together. Pre-K through 2, that's pre-K, kindergarten, first and second, will return to the building on January 19th. That is the day after Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. We will still maintain our 6-hour day. Children will need to be in the building by 8 o'clock. They will go straight to their classrooms, but they will be supervised and escorted. They will be encouraged to maintain social distancing. So we will use those first 2 days of school to introduce the strategies that we'll be using in the school to keep everyone safe. So please encourage your babies to be cooperative, because it is a very serious situation that we're coming back into. So please encourage them to listen and cooperate and do as they are asked. But I'm not expecting any problems. We have wonderful boys and girls who we know are very excited and anxious to come back to school, and knowing that they have to do certain things and follow very specific guidelines, knowing that they'll do what we ask them to do. Children will be in the classroom for the majority of the day. They will go to the bathrooms only in twos, only 2 at a time. And so we want to make sure, and they'll only be able to come upstairs where we can supervise them. The downstairs bathrooms will only be utilized by the pre-Ks and the kindergartners. Um, all of the other children, first through fifth, will have to use the bathrooms on the first floor right outside of the gymnasium. This is the only way we can assure that boys and girls maintain social distancing, washing their hands, flushing the toilets, and doing what they have to do to stay safe. Their safety and well-being is one of our top priorities. So I will be also helping to supervise that. We're letting the babies come back in first, because we want to do this in stages to ensure that all children are able to comply without any difficulty. We don't want them unhappy or stressed. We're going to keep it light and tamp down any fear. There'll be no fear mongering at all. We want them to know that when they come into our school building, it is safe, it is clean, and they don't have to worry. And I don't want any of you to worry as well, because we cannot allow any adults from the outside, and that includes all of you, into the building. We will do some live streams from the classroom so that you can see what's going on. And we will take you on a virtual tour of the building so that you can see the efforts that we have made to ensure that the children are doing well. In fact, In these 2 weeks before our boys and girls come back into the school, we will do a live stream from the building so that you can see what it looks like first with no children in. And then when the kids come in, we'll do that again so that you can see your child in school with their teachers. Um, I ask now going forward that you continue to remind your children that they need to do their schoolwork. It's going to be a little different being back in the room with the teachers. We are not expecting any troubles or any problems or any difficulties in shifting from remote to in person. Uh, the teachers have developed wonderful relationships with their students, and I know that everyone is anxious to get back and to see one another. The biggest challenge that we're going to have is not hugging, because I know I miss my boys and girls. This has been a tough time for me as well. So we want to remind our boys and girls to get that schoolwork done. We want them to end the school year doing well. I hear so many teachers talking about how their students are failing, but our kids are doing fairly well. The children uh, who had difficulty already had a bit of difficulty, but some of the kids who had difficulties in the building somehow had no difficulties with remote learning, and their performance and their ability to engage and do well has improved. So go figure. Uh, I want to once again remind you that we will be wearing masks all day, but they will have mask-free breaks. We will have times for them to have movement. We will have supervised recess. We ask that you dress your child warm, but know that we're going to also have some spare gloves and scarves and hats just in case they leave it at home or they've lost it somewhere, because we believe that it's important that children get outside and get fresh air. Now, we're not going in the 20s, but as long as it remains in the 40s and 50s, we're going to take the children outside for 15 minutes to get some air. They will remain with their teachers, and I'm asking my teachers for tons of flexibility as the times that they usually have for preparation periods. They're not going to be as often because of our shortened day and because we don't want our children interacting with more than their teacher on a daily basis. We want to minimize that contact with other adults. So uh, we will be eating in our classrooms for breakfast and for lunch. And for kindergarten and first grade, their snacks will also be in the classroom. Please, for birthdays, unless it's something that is individually wrapped, please do not bring it to school and expect that we're going to be able to have birthday parties with cake and ice cream. That's out. We can sing happy birthday and they'll get their birthday books, but things are not going to be exactly how they were. We're going to do everything that we've been directed to do, plus common sense things to make sure that we keep our children safe. Um, you are aware that schools will be tested weekly, randomly, but weekly, along with the adults in the building. It's going to be 20% of our children and 20% of our staff every week. So we don't know what type of testing it is, but as soon as I know, I will let you know. I also want you to know that we're going to meet. I'm going to send you these meeting videos weekly. Every Monday, expect to get an update. So our next meeting and next update meeting will be on January 11th. Okay? So that we are able to give to you the latest information. Um, the news that we are expecting now has to do with what is the fallout from travel over the Christmas holidays. It seems as though people made every attempt to keep themselves masked with their hands washed. But, when they got in the household with their family members, some of that falls out the window. So we don't know what's going to be happening in the city. But as I checked yesterday the rate of infection in 11691, and ours is lower. It is lower than the average in the city, in the whole city of New York. So that's a good sign that Far Rockaway people are taking this COVID virus seriously. Um, I will have written procedures ready for the meeting on January 11th. So we will post it. The teachers will send it to all of the families in their classroom via email, or they're posted on Dojo, or Miss Jones will post it on Dojo, so that we all have the same information and know that we are sticking to it. I want to give you word right now. Please don't get angry when you're not allowed in the building. We have to do that. We have to do that, especially with this new strain of the virus that is moving 70% faster than the first strand of COVID. Know that everything that we do will be to protect our children and the faculty. So please know up front, we are not letting any adults in the building other than the teaching staff. And that is every single day. So Mr. Johnson is going to stand firm on that. So please don't bring your frustrations to school. I'm letting you know right now, you cannot come into the building. Once we return to the building, students will more than likely remain with the same teachers that they've had. We are prepared to utilize the cafeteria for instructional space. We're going to put in partitions that are as effective as we can find and afford to be able to keep the class loads down, to maintain social distance between the children. Know too that we have the guards around the perimeter of the desk to make sure that kids are contained in their own space. Okay? Um, Parents, I really ask that you be more timely in completing the surveys and the questionnaires that we send home. We're using those for planning purposes. So please do it, because it's very, very difficult to guess. And I have to know how to strategically place my staff. I want everyone, every child, every adult to be in a space that has good ventilation, and that they are not sequestered in a space with no moving air. We want to make sure that we have that. But to know how to do that, we need to know who is going to be in the building. So next week on the 11th, we'll give you the next date that the survey will come out again, to find out what third through fifth graders will be coming back to school for February 1st. Okay? All right. I hope that you have a good evening. And if you have any questions about any of this that I've said, please reach out through your normal channels. That can be me, that can be Miss Johnson, that can be Miss Jones. So we're almost there. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I really do. And I wish everyone well. Say a prayer for us all, because we are all in this together. Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year.